Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Our chapter is non-metals and their compounds. So we're discussing various non-metals, their preparation, their properties and their uses. So far in our previous video, we covered the plenty of them. For example, the hydrogen chlorides. So today, we also covered the chlorine, etc. So today, let's move on to the other non-metal, that is sulfur. So in this session, we'll start with the occurrence of sulfur. So how does this sulfur occur, especially on Earth's surface? Sulfur is just a yellow crystalline non-metallic solid component. So that's how sulfur it always looks like. It's a yellow crystalline non-metallic solid. Its symbol is S, and that symbol is the one that used in the periodic table. It has the atomic number of 16. The sulfur exists in nature as a free element and also exists in compounds. So that's how sulfur exists. It can exist in toys as a free element, and also it can also exist in various compounds. In its combined state, sulfur is found combined with the metal ores such as the galena, that is the lead sulfate, the iron pyrites, the copper pyrites, and the zinc blend. So that's how in a combined state, how sulfite can be found out, or just how it can look like. It is also found in natural gas such as the hydrogen sulfide gas, and also include oil as organic sulfur compounds. So that's how this sulfur it can occur, or just how it can look like, or how it can be found. Now let's see the extraction of the sulfur from the natural deposits. So here we'll see how sulfur it can be prepared, or simply the preparation of the or the extraction of the sulfur specifically from the natural deposits. Now sulfur is extracted from underground deposits by the Francke's process. So this process is the one that helps to extract the sulfur from its underground deposits. The Franke process makes use of the low melting point, that is 119 degrees Celsius of sulfur. In this process, a hole of about 30 centimeter in diameter is bored down through the clay, sand, and limestone to the sulfur beds. Now, from there, this boring is lined with an iron pipe, and inside the pipe is sunk a device called the sulfur pump. Now, the pump consists of the three concentric pipes, the cylindrical pipes with the common center, which end in the reservoir of a larger diameter. As you can see in the figure, here is the figure of the Franke process. As you can see, so the molten sulfur and the water will come out from here. The hot compressed air will just will be interested in this pipe through this opening, and so this pipe runs down to here, and from here also sulfur will be gained, and there's water that comes out from this process. So, and also there's a sulfur base, and the water comes out, and sulfur can be processed or can be obtained in this Franke process. So it can be collected at this upper place, the molten sulfur and the water, it can be collected in that way. Now, how it can be taken into process, this Franke process? Here are the explanations. So down the outermost of the three pipes is forced a stream of water that is about 170 degrees. Now, this water, it must be kept at a pressure of about 10 atmospheres just to maintain it in liquid state. This means that it is superheated water, and it is hot enough just to melt the sulfur. Now, the molten sulfur flows into the reservoir at the base of the pump, and it is forced up to the surface. So the sulfur, it is collected upward through the pipes. Now, the sulfur obtained is just 99.5% pure, and it can be used without any purification. The stages involved in the entire extraction process, they can be summarized as follows. Now, these stages will just illustrate the various specific reactions that take place and what happens until you obtain the sulfur. So the first one, the superheated water that is 170 degrees is pumped through the outer pipe just to melt the sulfur that was put inside the container or through the pipes. Then the hot compressed air that is about 10 atmosphere is pumped down through the inner pipe. Now the combination of the hot water and the hot air, it just melts the sulfur, and from there the molten sulfur, hot air and the hot water form a froth. Now that froth is the one that is forced to the earth's surface through the middle pipe by the compressed air. So that's briefly how it occurs. Now the molten sulfur, the one that is collected in large tanks where the water drains off and cooled and is solidified. So that's how the sulfur is obtained. So that's all I have for this session. We've started discussing about sulfur as a non-metal. We've seen its occurrence and how it is extracted by the Franke process. So I hope that's clear, and thank you.